Okay, we go with the presentation. This is based on my experience on ERC 8003, ERC 20 pre-initialization extension. You can scan the QR code to see more details about it. And I will start. So why create an EIP? So this is a question that was made in the public. I guess from people like me, that was why should I create an EIP? I see all that specifications, I see how valuable they are, and I think I have a new idea that can improve the protocol, can improve the infrastructure. There is new use cases that can be made consensus in an EIP. So this is very important. So we need to have something to work on that is needed or is going to improve Ethereum. So we can document patterns that are already happening but are not documented, so we make a standard as well, or to coordinate the community around a common solution. We saw this in the past presentations. So, second, research and self-validation. We think that we have something that we are going to improve Ethereum somehow. Now we have to research and we have to self-validate us, so we avoid wasting time of others from the newbie perspective, going to a forum, taking the time from the experts that they are kind and they will reply us and they will try to explain, but we have to take advantage of all the effort. So don't make Ethereum lose time for you if you didn't make your own research. So first, if you have something that you want to propose, if it's code, do it. Do it in your own code. Make it real, not just an idea and go there and write down. It's valid if it makes a lot of sense, but anyway, you have to validate the idea. Second, after you have the code, or you have the idea or the consensus or whatever, start to find errors. You have to go against yourself and also to your contacts, some devs, some Ethereum people that is also improving. Find limitations, try to push it to edge cases, iterate, as it says, until it survives your own critical analysis to the maximum. Then create, if it's applicable, a mini site, a repo, a documentation with exactly a technical rationale of it, use cases examples, and metrics. And whatever else that you think will go forward to justify why are you doing this and how it works, and it really works. So in my case, in the example of ERC 8003, I had a problem that was gas fees spikes. This ERC is about pre-initializing token accounts, ERC20s, before have balance. So why I did this? Because I want to prepay the initialization of the slots of the ERC20s, so when you make the first transfer of real balance, it will be 33% cheaper. So I had a problem. Then I was testing, I create some contracts, I deploy it, and I start testing, and then I had metrics. So finally I got metrics of how much do you save, depending the gas price and the gas price now when you pre-initialize. So about this, I can show very easily how I did my proposal. Here I started, I put my repo, then I justify it, then the background motivation, proposal, specification. The specification is very simple. By here, I put this extension route, reference implementation in Solidity, conceptual savings calculator live, and real testing results that are very important. So in the calculation that is live, you put gas price, current gas price, calculate, and here is information. So this is just to show you that you need to prove what are you doing. And very important, learn to propose and discuss. And this for me was very important because there is something that is called netiquette, that I don't know if this term still is working, was when I was 25 years ago, was like behave on the network as well. There is some rules, there is some important formalisms, and in every forum that you get, there is a way to communicate. And I found this proposal, that is not mine, with a lot of activity, very useful, because was a lot of exchange of opinions, many cases, because some person proposed something, other person came to say, I already proposed it, come with me. And then they say, no, this is different. And then more people came and start showing why it's different, why is a different point of view, which are the differences. So a lot of justification in both sides happened. Also some improvements in the middle as well. People saying, okay, but I want to add this, but it's a thread. So it's very complex, because in the meanwhile, they were getting a conversation of, this should be part of another ERC that is already approved, or this is a new ERC or EIP. And in the meanwhile, I was suggesting to change some function, and this is in the middle of the conversation, and the author has to take care of all this, but also other people came supporting the author, or better say the proposal, to answer as well. And you start getting aligned at the end of the day. Without this alignment, while the discussion continues, with sense, of course, that is in almost all cases, you can't move forward, because if not, it's a waste of time. So this is very interesting how it happens. I really recommend this discussion in particular. I really like it. And well, now comes the proposal timeline for newbies. We already saw what happens on the validation side, all the iterations, all the logics, all the workflow. But for us, that we are making this for first time, first we have to have the problem context, an abstract, motivation, specification, rationale, security, link to the repo, and following the standards, the EIP one, that is the QR code there. It's very important to read it. You can read it before, you can read it after, makes a lot more sense. If you read it after a week researching Ethereum magicians, if not, it's too much specification for nothing, because you are standing on nothing. Then you have to make the pull request. You will receive an EIP ERC number when the request pass the first filter. Then you will include this number in your prop, and here start the problems. You have to rename your file. You have to do the pull request. You have to change a lot of information inside your MD file, and the bot comes. That was a nightmare for me. The EIP review bot throwing thousands of errors. It can give you 8 items, but inside an item can be like thousands of errors, and then there is one error, but when you solve it, you solve it, it's fine. So now come 100 errors, because the error that you solve open a door for finding more problems. So the best is to debug manually. Don't use GPT. When I asked GPT about my presentation, GPT tried to avoid using GPT. He said, this is a nice joke, but it's better to say it in a different way. No, don't trust him. It's very nice, but don't use it for this, because I tried to debug first on GPT, and I generated more errors, and it's nonsense. Do it manually. Take the time to read, to learn. And then you have to attend a call with Ethereum cat herders to understand the process. Try to go to the calls, listen, and then request to your EIP or ERC to be added into the agenda. And you have to be patient. You have to wait for your slot. Maybe you're lucky and you get it because other proposals don't show up, and you present it to the call. You have to listen the feedback very carefully, and then address, adjust, and repeat. And here I will show again what happens with my proposal. When I attended the call, I was on this stage, just here. And on the call, this issue was opened, an edge case. Try to do this and show that the EAP, the ERC in this case, don't broke. I made it very fast. I made all the tests. I documented it, and luckily it passed the review. So implementations and integrations. After you are passing and moving forward, it's very important to file real-world integrations that demonstrates the usefulness of the EIP or ERC. So you have to start working on the traction, because this will help you a lot to get approved and added if it's your goal to give some value. If not, you are just giving an idea that is very cool, but no one is going to use it. And then adapt the protocol on what you learn and create a sandbox environment for others to test. And very important, keep the proposal alive. Nobody is going to make it for you unless you are doing a super cool, great proposal that maybe you are doing, but nobody sees it before it's working. So for the ERC 8003, I'm trying to contact Open Zeppelin people to review and implement in part of their contracts, the ERC 20s, and contacting wallet providers interested in pre-initialize their users as a service to check if there is internet interest or not. So recap, your first EAP, where to start? Write down a specific Ethereum problem that is bothering you today, or you think that is bothering other people. Look for similar EAPs. I also hear some questions before about this. There is a forum, the Ethereum Magicians. You can search there. You can also search on the repo of Ethereum. And I think maybe in the Discord also, the Ethereum research. And this will be enough. Do a deep looking. And in the next 30 days, if we say I start today, create a small prototype, try it, invite people to try it, start a thread on Ethereum Magicians, start your post, very sorted out with the requirements to make life easy to the ones that are reviewing it, and get feedback from people who already published an EAP and open to talk. So thank you for having me here. I hope I clarified some people path to publish an EAP-RC. And well, thank you, Poja.
Thank you, Herman, for sharing your experience and giving us a shout out. Yes, of course. The call is called as EIP Editing Office Hour. Please join us if you have question, if you are first time author, or if you in general want to understand how the process works. You may have followed Sam's earlier conversation. He had a message that we displayed in the beginning of this EIP Summit, where he mentions that this is author-driven process. So if you want your proposal to become an Ethereum standard, you have to be around. You have to be around to push it to get into a network upgrade process, as well as if it is for application, if that is an ERC as well. Well, we are encouraging people to come up with different ideas and specs and implementation and be an author and be a contributor to this big, wide open ecosystem. While we have German here, if you guys have any question about like becoming the first time author or trying to maybe document a proposal, anything you would like to ask with him.
Ahoy, great talk. So my question would be, it was obviously a lot of work for you, and 33% gas saving is quite significant in some way, but were you doing this primarily in an altruistic way, or were you doing it to try to learn more about the ecosystem through having direct contact, or to see about the adoption of standards, or what was your real motivation in some sense, given the huge volume of work that it required, and given that you don't internalize all of the benefit that you are going to be producing if this is adopted?
My motivation is always saving gas. I love to save gas. I'm from Latin America. We want to save in everything. And I found this that is interesting because we hate gas spikes. Gas spike for us is a pain. Makes impossibilitate us to do something. While in other areas, it just means I will pay more. In the global south, but in Latin America happen a lot, means I have to wait. And I can't do it until the gas go down. So this is an improvement that I think is saving 33% of gas on something that maybe is $1, but maybe on a gas spike, writing a balance of a new token could be $30, $40, and you want to be in because you are following this launch science long, and you are going to get out just for this. I mean, it's an improvement. It's very small effort. It's just adding a small functionality. One small functionality change how the storage is stored on the contract. In place of uint bytes 32, and then the interface remains the same, and it's a pre-initialization. It's optional, so I think why not?
That's great. I know everybody love gas optimization in whatever form it is, if it is for like main network or for applications. So thank you so much for your contribution and documenting a proposal. But we still have few minutes. If we have any more question, perhaps we can take one more. That could be related to this proposal, as well as if you're curious or you want to learn more about how to become an author, if you're considering that one as well. All right, in that case, thank you so much, Herman, for joining us here. And people, please find him back the stage and you can have more questions.